Hey everyone, Steven at Gutter Pop Comics in Buffalo, New York, 1421 Hertel Avenue. It is about 2:30 in the morning on Wednesday, February 2nd, 2022. Happy New Comic Book Day. Each week we do a little video where we go through the week's new releases, or in some cases, releases that are just new to us. We had a couple shipment delays. But we make these videos each week for our regulars and our mail order customers so they can get a sense of what is going on and what we've got coming in. We update our website, gutterpopcomics.com, about a week after we post this video. So all of our inventory, all of our new inventory is on the website, but for the folks who check in with us each week, support us each week, they get first dibs. So the fairest way we can think to do it currently. So if there's something cool that you see, feel free to message us and we can set it aside for you, mail it to you. But once it's posted on the website, it is fair game to the whole dang World Wide Web. And we have thousands of comic books and graphic novels on the website. Definitely worth checking out, gutterpopcomics.com. If you're interested in the week's new single issue comic releases, I would suggest following us on Facebook or Instagram and checking out our stories section. So we post a complete listing of everything that we'll have. You can just scroll through the stories and see all the new issues. That is probably the best way to keep up with it right now. It's a little too tough to try and do it in the video. Speaking of Instagram.com, we have a little contest. So if you go to our Instagram.com page, you can win 2 free tickets and a Gutter Pop $25 gift card by going to that post, following the directions. I think it's just follow the directions. I can try and remember them, but it's like, I'll just say the wrong thing. So there's there's just a little thing you have to do, just tagging a friend to let them know about it, et cetera, et cetera. And so Alison Bechdal, the acclaimed cartoonist, graphic novelist, author of the Stone Cold classic Fun Home, and a bunch of other just essential comic book work. Their new book, Secret to Superhuman Strength, is out, and they're going to be doing a talk as a part of the Just Buffalo Literary Center, their Babel series. They've also got Colson Whitehead coming, who's an amazing author. He's not a comic book maker. I don't know what they call that, non-picture books, I guess. I don't know what that is really, but yeah, he's really great. I love his books. I remember all of his books are great. Apex Hides the Hurt was one that I read when I was younger and just blew me away, and I've been a fan ever since. So, but anyway, Alison Bechdal, amazing, coming to Buffalo. You could win 2 free tickets and a $25 gift card. Just go to Instagram.com, find our social media, follow us, check out the post, follow the directions, comment on it, do whatever it says. By Friday. So Friday is the cutoff. So awesome. So that is the big thing for this week. Thanks so much, y'all. We're going to get into the video. Thanks again. For small press, DIY, independent comics, we've got Acid Nun number 3 by Corinne Halbert. Corinne is a Chicago-based cartoonist, previously known for her comic Hate Baby. This is the 3rd issue. It's like a double-size issue. It's $12. I think this comic is really special, and it's really connected with a lot of people. It seems like she's got kind of a hit on her hands with the Acid Nun character. Content warning, this stuff gets pretty wild, so not for everyone. I think it's a really beautiful, innovative comic for a lot of reasons. Subject matter, the crazy page layouts, compositions, the use of the really creative use of color. I know that she's also a painter, so I think a lot of that comes into play with her her cartooning stuff. But I think like one thing that's like really cool about that, just like the core conceit of like the acid nun character and like what she's going through, is sort of like just the way that like the like Catholic guilt and like the it really butts up against the like world of pleasure, like kind of like there's so much like horror movie imagery or like grindhouse kind of I love this, like fill your own cup first, I don't know. I think these comics are really special and cool. I guess I don't want to show off too much of it, but man, so issues 1 and 2 are woefully out of print, but you can read issue 3, get something out of it 100%. And then I believe Silver Sprocket, the publisher and comic book store out of the Bay Area, is doing a collection. So if you want to wait for the collection, they'll have you covered, and I'm sure we'll be getting lots of copies of that. My understanding is that it's going to collect issues 1 through 3. So pretty cool. Very psyched for Acid Nun in the house. Also, speaking of Silver Sprocket, friend of the show, Michael Sweater has a new comic out. Thanks again. I'm going to thank Michael as many times as I can for doing that cool little drawing for us. So this is awesome. Everything Sucks. This was just like, I think this was just kind of like solicited through the regular comic book distribution channel. So like, hopefully a lot of shops get this. So I'm showing it off with our small press stuff, but man, it also would go, I just love that this is on the comic book stands in a more mainstream context. I love Michael's cartooning, and they're so funny. And it's like, I'm so looking forward to this. They did a great job with the production on this comic. It looks beautiful. It feels beautiful. I was shown off the shiny. That's that kind of sweet foil you would get in a sticker machine, like you'd pay a quarter to get that. So highly recommended. There's some stickers. It's $6. That's an amazing looking comic. So gotta get that one. I don't know. Oops, that was loud. I don't know how to talk about this next one. I'm a huge fan of Kevin's. I also know Kevin, or at least, you know what I mean? Like, I'm friends with them, but it's also like I'm a huge fan of their work. They have a comic called Fuchi Perf that is in print from Uncivilized that really means a lot to me and is a really creative, innovative comic in a lot of ways. And I just love that comic to pieces. So I'm so excited about this. This is the second part. So I've got the first one in stock. I grabbed a copy to show. So this was like the first 2 issues. This is like issues 3 and 4, I believe, or like chapters 3 and 4. So you can buy them both, get the whole story. But right now, this is the new one we're showing off. And if you're new, I can't wait to find out what these characters, like what the conflict truly is, and like beautiful, beautiful drawing, and so expressive, and like just incredible. And I cannot wait to read this and find out what the hell is going on, because it's pretty weird. So 4 years, pretty psyched to have that. I'm a huge fan of Kevin, the cartoonist and the person, so I'm a little biased, but hey. So thank you to Clamp. They just sent me this, and I'm very grateful. So they sent me a couple copies, asked if I could sell it in the shop, and I was really blown away. It's really beautiful. It's like, looks like a totally like a risograph printed anthology. I might end up breaking the spine a little bit. I might take this one home because it's like a little brittle. But shout out Nate Garcia, shout out Dan Stafford. So there's 3 issues of this. I'm going to try and get more. But it's like a collection of illustration and like kind of zine-like stuff. But then there's also like articles. And see, this one's this will be my copy. This is the promo copy. So articles, all sorts of stuff, a very cool anthology. Thanks to the, really excited to have this in the store. I'm going to try and get the earlier issues. And send them some dough. So definitely send me stuff. If you're making comics, just send. I'm such a softie. I'll probably just buy your comic. If I can. So this was another person who reached out. So Lily Ferria, so sorry, apologies. Looks like these two people made this like really cool, like, I don't know what to call comics like this, but it feels like you're getting like a little tour through someone's headspace, and like there's this like this narration as you're being like kind of like buffeted along. And I think it's really beautiful. I love the color pencil work. So I was excited to just have someone reach out and get in touch. This looks like a self-published comic. But I'll link their stuff in the show, the stuff at the bottom of the video. So local illustrator. Wow, look at how shiny that is. Wow. So Catherine Mary Ketter Franklin. Let's see if I can get that right. I'll link their information. I should not try and show stuff off like that. So this is like a DC Comics fanzine, or what I mean to say is like, a bunch of folks got together and made a fanzine about their favorite like femme or I believe just like women characters in the DC Comics universe. And you get like just some like really beautiful illustration work plus some like personal, some fanfic, some comics. So pretty cool. There's Catherine. Katie did art is their social media handle. So yeah, very cool. Very limited copies. I think we only got like a couple of those. So if you're into that kind of thing, pounce on that. I doubt I'll be able to reorder it. So we loved Nugget number 1, and just a few weeks ago we were a little late to the party. We got it in the shop, and then before we knew it, issue 2, winter 2022. Love Nugget. Excited to follow this weird little character some more. Really like this section. And then it's like, dang. So we still have copies of Nugget number 1. Pretty cool. So very excited to have that. I don't know if Love and Rockets is like, isn't this just, is this, and I said this in the last video, like it's like a struggle for me with like, to include Fantagraphics, the publisher of the world's, what is their tagline, like the best cartoonist or whatever. And then it's like, to include them in the small press section seems like disingenuous, like they're huge. But then also, like this just feels the kinship, this feels like the right zone. So maybe I'll show it off in both the comics section and this. But I don't, what can anyone say about Love and Rockets? A very celebrated, pivotal comic, and everyone is always like so excited when there's a new issue. This new series has been quarterly, I believe. This at least our copies were delayed, but we have this in stock now. Very psyched to have that. And then lastly, I didn't totally know what to do with this one. Maybe it's not exactly small press, but the Sartorial Geek. This is, I think it's tied to like a podcast. So all things pop culture, girl power, and community. So pretty interesting. It looks like it has like an interview with Kelly Sue DeConnick, and then it just seems to have like a couple different, like there's some like fashion stuff, like cosplay tutorials, some comic stuff. Yeah, it looks cool. I'm excited. I ordered a couple of these just because I was curious about it. I gotta just say, I was out of town last week, and I spent part of that week in Twin Peaks on Twin Peaks Day. So how fitting that there's a little Audrey Horne piece in this. So I was like, it kind of, it was too weird. Like I came back from a week of being out of town, visiting my parents, and then doing this Twin Peaks thing, and then and then to see this, it was pretty weird, but pretty cool. So fictional style icon Audrey Horne. So pretty cool. So that's all the stuff that I have for the small press stuff. So I guess we will move on to the next thing. All right, for our genre trades in graphic novels, like horror, sci-fi, fantasy, action, crime, we've got The Nice House on the Lake, Volume 1, a very beautiful pre-apocalyptic mystery comic. Very, very beautiful to look at. And I think a lot of the joy of it, other than the cool drawing, is it's got like this very like dense threaded mystery thing going, and like all of these characters. And so I don't want to show off too much of it. Like normally I do a longer flip through maybe, but I don't want to spoil anything because a lot of the joy in it comes from like being surprised or the twists and the puzzle box element of it. So moving right along, Snow Angels Volume 1. I didn't know this was coming out. This kind of was a surprise to me. I guess it was published digitally first. But yeah, psyched to see new work from both of these creators, especially like working together. But yeah, both pretty popular. And I look forward to the day when I can say Jeff Lemire, his name confidently, a creator I've been following for way too long to not totally know how to say his name. And then what do you think here? I mean, what is that? Yak, probably? It's probably Yak. But very celebrated comic book makers. Not all robots. I've heard this is a very entertaining sort of Isaac Asimov inspired AI, like satire and yeah. I'm a big fan of the writing of Mark Russell. He usually turns in really sharp satire. I think the last video I talked about his Flintstones comic, which I thought, just sort of caught people off guard with how good it was, I think. So this one's like maybe more porn than not porn, to be candid, but I don't have a real good way of showing off the spicy, so fantasy romance. But if you're into adult comics or comics that deal explicitly with sexuality and stuff like that, we've got you covered. Don't know how to show those off in a video. Maybe I'll learn how to do like a censor, like the pixelated censor bar stuff. But that creator is super, it's done a ton of stuff. We have a ton of their work in the store. And so I'm sure that a lot of folks are excited about new work from them or getting that particular comic. So this looks really cool. So Scotty Young written, but the drawing in this looks really cool and has this very expressive animated quality, really good coloring. But yeah, so cool horror. Yeah, kind of just a weird, right, so, okay. Both of these people worked on Middle West, which people really dug. So yeah, hope I get the chance to read that one. This one, I kept getting orders for this. I don't know if it's if it has to do with the fact that we're in New York, but this one kind of was a little bit of a hit for us, in the single issues, people subscribing, and all of the customers were just telling me how great it was. So it's kind of psyched for me to see a mainstream comic in black and white. I wonder if this actually makes more sense. Fantasy. Okay, so it is fantasy. So there's magic and stuff in it. But I was worried it was more of a kind of a slice of life thing. But really, that's really strong drawing. I think it's really sharp and feels very accomplished. So yeah, this one does get a little spicy as well. So maybe I'll stop there. But yeah, I'm hoping I can carve out the time to read this one. I got to start a book club, or we got to do oh, hey, wow, shout out Pulp 716. That's amazing. Local shop Pulp 716. That's amazing. That's so cool. But yeah, so this was maybe, again, we owe so much to Pulp 716. They really drive so much of our sales because they're such good, it's people, they just do so much for our local comics community. So can't sing their praises enough. Firepower, Chris Somney. Another just lots of good drawers in a row. So I think that this artist is pretty exceptional. Do they color this? Yeah, so Matt Wilson, standout coloring from Matt Wilson. Just really creative color palette usage and like changes the, I don't know, really great. So yeah, volume 4, so that's a tough one to recommend unless you've read 1 through 3. And then this is just a reprint of Ice Cream Man volume 1 that just has this homage to, which Doctor is this? Is this Doctor Who? Doctor Strange? Well, whichever Doctor that is an homage to, this is a pretty fun anthology series, horror, like a horror anthology series, but it's been pretty popular. So, okay, here we go to the next section. Bye-bye. So for superhero trades and graphic novels this week, I had to start with this beautiful deluxe Wonder Woman reissue by George Perez. And as a lot of folks know, George Perez was not too long ago given a terminal cancer diagnosis. And it's been very inspiring and beautiful to see the way that him and his partner have sort of like made themselves very available to like I guess like the general public or like their fans or whatever. And yeah, it's been very like moving to see, you know, George and his partner share like what is the final journey in his life and to connect with fans. And I can just say, working at this comic book store for like the last 5.5 years, it's been made very clear to me that his work means a lot to a lot of people. I don't know exactly how to say this, but it seems like for a lot of people, it's like this like kind of platonic ideal rather of like superhero, I guess cartooning or comic book making, and just like his like attention, his detail and his like proportions and or like the figure drawing. I don't know. There's something like so correct about it to so many people. It's sort of like I don't know. I mean, it sounds like a put down, like to say it's like the baseline, but I think for like I don't know. It's just there's something like very pure and cool about it, and it's been really cool hearing about how just how much it means to people. So yeah, very shiny, very very hardcover, so very, very beautiful, and yeah, tons of respect and to George Perez and his family. So pretty intense stuff. Also intense in a totally different way. This is not a comic book. I don't know what these disgusting things that litter the page are, but yeah, this is a more complicated take. It's not like so much a puff piece as like, I mean, you can see in the title, The Rise and Fall of Stan Lee. And so, it's like one of those complicated issues that will probably be debated for as long as, I don't know, as long as there's like a history of comic books, I guess. But yeah, it's like, like Stan Lee was such a positive force in a lot of ways for comics. But then there's also this other angle of like, was he, if not responsible, at least very least complicit in sort of this culture of ripping off artists or like, certainly maybe if, just like not fairly compensating them for, or just like the unfairness of that whole model of like paying someone and then milking their creations for forever. So yeah, so that's been dealt with a lot, there's a lot has changed, but pretty interesting take and a lot to talk about. I mean, that we'll never really know a lot of that stuff. But yeah, that was sort of a book that, this is the soft paperback edition, and it got kind of, it seems like it's a complicated topic for a lot of people, so something I should definitely check out. So I ordered the wrong, this came out like a little while ago, a couple weeks ago maybe. We did not get our copies, oops. And this is exactly what it looks like. It is a Deadpool manga, and people were pretty psyched about it, so anyone who pre-ordered this, your copies are set aside. Sorry, I ordered it from the wrong place. I thought I could get them in time, and I couldn't. This is part of that Mighty Marvel Masterworks series. I talk about these a lot. I love these. They're reprints of old Marvel comics in an affordable, kind of smaller edition. A lot of bang for your buck. I also put these in the young adult, like middle grade kids section, but also for people who want to just have those old comics without paying $1 million for them. And that's basically what this is just like a collection of a bunch of Stan Lee, Jack Kirby, Thor comics, numbers 131 through 153, plus an annual. And so you get some primo stuff and you get some not primo stuff depending on your opinion of inkers, Jack Kirby inkers. So but yeah, so always cool to show off some Jack Kirby. That is all of the superhero trades and graphic novels for this week, so we press on. So for our single issues, like our comic book issues that come out every week, I'm probably going to say this every video, but like the best way to see what we get in is probably actually following us on Instagram or Facebook. In our stories section, we post all of the issues that we get in, like Wednesday morning. So that is the best way to see what we've got currently at the time of this video. And feel free to message us. We can set it aside for you. Feel just free to subscribe. But they're hard for me to talk about because like these are usually pieces of a longer story, and it's like I don't know. They're hard to recommend until they're done, unless it's a number one. So this is an ongoing series, pretty spelled out in the name. What if Miles Morales becomes Captain America? So this one seems to be the one people are most excited about. And there was on the Disney Channel, there was like a Marvel cartoon based on the What If old comic books where they would do a single issue usually, and then of like a kind of a wacky premise, like, what if Fing Fang Foom was, Iron Fist's dad or whatever, or Iron Man's roommate or something. So Rogue Sun this is a number one from Image Comics. Image Comics, when they're kind of reintroducing a they're doing like a new superhero shared universe thing, sort of getting back to their roots. It's their 30th anniversary. Oh my God. And I believe this is part of that, like sort of like new superhero push, kind of getting back, reclaiming some of that market share, that superhero market share. Got to show off a Jen Bartel She-Hulk cover. The first issue was wonderful, and then this one, those shoulder pads or whatever, is strong. But the comic, it's pretty cool. So I like that writer, Rainbow Rowell, like their run on, Runaways. Their run on Runaways has been very good. I know they're also like they write like them paper books or whatever, them non-comic books. Another number one, Strange. Is it a spoiler to say that Doctor Strange died? Because it's like they made a comic book called The Death of Doctor Strange. So I feel like me saying that isn't a spoiler because it was like in the title. So this is the follow-up. There's a new Doctor Strange in town. And she's just going by Strange. So that's a new number one. We got the collection of the first 6 issues of The Nice House on the Lake. They took a hiatus. It's back, and there are rats on the cover, and it's probably very gross and cool. And yeah, like I said, it's hard to show off stuff. I just liked this cover. I don't, this has been a fun. That's like a dream team lineup. This has been a fun series, but I don't know. I just love that that cover. That's just great to me. This new Black Panther promises to excite. So The new series has been very popular and has had a bunch of maybe some new stuff going on that people are psyched about, some new characters and whatnot. This is a package of reprints. So a couple weeks ago, maybe, we got issues 1 through 5 as like a pack of reprint, and this is 6 through 10. So they all have new David Mack covers. They're sold as a bundle. We have very limited quantities of this. But yeah, if you have issues like 11 through 20, whatever, and you need 1 through 10, I've got you covered right now. So yeah, so like I said, there are better ways to check out our single issue comics right now. This one doesn't really fit on camera, but these are those cool, they're like almost like artist editions, but they're just sort of like these like break, yeah, like they're kind of they're these large size, what are they calling them? They did one for the Chris Somney Legendary Edition. It's a Legendary Edition of this cool weird comics. I'm sorry I couldn't fit on the camera, but it's very big. It's $20. I don't know where I'm going to put it in the store. All right, I think yeah, I think that'll be the end of the video. So I guess I'll trail off or something. So not a ton of kids graphic novels, or like we kind of lumped together the middle grade young adult stuff, but just not a lot this week. So this will be pretty quick. Max in the Midnights from the creator Big Nate. Your kid wants this. You don't have to ask. They just get it for them. They just want this. Every kid wants this. Buy it for me instead of somewhere else. That's all. But that's volume 3. We have 1 and 2, but just get it. If you know a kid, just get it for them. You don't have to ask. This is the second volume of Witchy. The first volume was really cool. It is sort of like a spooky fantasy for a middle grade, like 8 to 12 kind of audience. Really great drawing, really beautiful. You know, fans of Zelda, fans of Studio Ghibli, but you know, maybe if you know, just beautiful stuff. So we should have the first volume. Come get it. This one is more young adult, or maybe you know, middle grade to young adult. Definitely, I mean, soon to be a major motion picture. Pretty beautiful. It's, you know, it's like a World War II story. So really great drawing. I don't know, it makes me think of like Don Bluth or something, or like maybe just the Anastasia movie or something. I think that was just in my mind. Yeah, my partner Caitlin was telling me about maybe there's like a podcast like You're Wrong About episode that just came out about Anastasia. Or no, like one of the people from that podcast has a different show. Anyway, so sorry, Anastasia. I'm a big Don Bluth fan. So, but yeah, that looks really beautiful and heavy. So that could, you know, oh wow, inked by Kevin Chapp. Just was singing their praises not too long ago. That's part of why it's so beautiful. Wow, cool. So I think we missed this by a week. This came in late or something, but this is the second volume of Katie the Cat Sitter. It seems like this we've been selling. You know, I've only been ordering them a couple at a time because, you know, money, and so like, you know, it's like I'll order 2 copies, sell 2 copies, order 2 copies. So it seems like Katie the Cat Sitter is kind of clicking with folks. So I haven't had a chance to check it out. I'll have to run this by my you know, like a 10-year-old that I know, and then see what it's like. But yeah, so maybe you know about this and I don't. But Katie the Cat Sitter seems to be catching on. Some cool creators made that. But that's really all we have for the kids stuff this week. So yeah, let's press on. Okay, so for our like kind of slice of life, like drama, I don't know, just graphic novels, I guess, like section. This week we've got So this came out a little while ago, and we just got our copies. Like our box got held up or in something. I'm not totally sure, but our copies didn't show up in time. But I'm very psyched to have this now. This is like a Finnish cartoonist that I like a lot, and it looks really beautiful. They're very like childhood explorations, and I think the drawing is really cool. But I've seen some of their work before, and I really liked it in the past. And I think this is like 3 short stories or something, or at least like get the impression that there's like these like movements, or yeah, like those are different stories or whatever. So very cool. Very happy to have this in the store. Next, I've got To Drink and to Eat. I think this person, we've had some of their books in before, and they're like cooking comics, like with recipes and stuff. I think there's some recipes in here, but yeah, like I turned to something that certainly looks like it, culinary tips. But this is more of like more like just like strips and sketchbook stuff, and it's sort of like a collection of just. But it's definitely got like some mature stuff in there. So it's not just like an illustrated cookbook, like maybe some of his other stuff. But I think there's some naughty bits or whatever. And then Last Song. This was like a comic that was published that's been collected. It's sort of like a music-centric graphic novel. So for folks who, like are interested in sort of like, people in bands and those sort of like dynamics and stuff, this could really, it's like, I know that the publisher Black Mask, I was always under the understanding that it was run by somebody who has something to do with like Epitaph Records, or like maybe it's like Gerwitz's son or something. I just could be totally off, but yeah, I'd always heard that there was this like music relation, but I don't know if it always, they're kind of just like a publisher, like a comics publisher. So it's cool to see. I know this was like these were published as singles issues, but again, just looking at them again, it's like cool to see like the music stuff coming through. All right, for manga this week. Well, we've got some manga and we've got some manhwa, but this is a box set of the first 6 volumes of The Time I Got Reincarnated as a Slime. It's a very silly fantasy, like kind of not a parody, but like a lighthearted take on like fantasy tropes and stuff. But those box sets have been a lifesaver just as far as like the manga drought and stuff getting republished. This has been a very popular series, Saint Young Men. It is the reincarnated Jesus Christ and Buddha just being buds and palling around Tokyo, learning some lessons, getting into some hijinks. It is kind of a mess in a very fun way. Like I was reading it and I kind of fell off of it, but I do want to get back to that stuff. There have been definitely some very like trends in like the naming of manga lately. Like it seems like there was like, well, like in Western comics there was something is killing the children, and then so you just saw like a million sentence titles for like the last several years, just kind of like. I'm sure there have been other things that used a sentence, but it was just sort of like this industry trend thing where you're like, you just notice it. And so like, this is a good one. Like, my lovey-dovey wife is a stone cold killer. Like, I feel like that's like that and I'm an elf barista in another dimension or something is the other like weird like naming convention trend that I'm seeing in manga. I'm sure everyone else is seeing it too. But this one was supposed to be pretty great. Like comedy about like it's all right there. But she's a professional assassin. It's not quite. What is that movie? She's not like hiding it. It's not quite True Lies, but. what's the Gina Davis one? Long Kiss Goodnight. But yeah, it's like a really fun. It's like a really fun premise, and it's very, very, it's just like ridiculous. This is like two Korean creators. One of them is famous for a very good horror movie called Train to Busan. I've never read. The other creator created this webtoon, AWL. Maybe I don't. Is that how it's pronounced? AWL. Man, webtoon. That seems to be a lot of cool stuff coming out of that publishing platform. It's like a digital comics thing, but yeah, this looks beautiful. But it is like some sort of ridiculous horror sci-fi thing, and it looks like it's already got a Netflix thing attached. So, but it got a couple copies of that. Looks promising. I'm a little fuzzy on the release dates moving forward. So like, I don't know if this was last week or this week, but I wasn't here, and I don't think it went out on the table. Or if it did, I mean, just to have a moment to talk about Blood on the Tracks, maybe one of my favorite horror series going right now. It's more like psychological horror or like crime, or not crime, but like I don't really want to give too much away, but it is super intense and cool and really gut-wrenching. I was talking to a customer today about the YouTuber Super Eye Patch Wolf, and then he has a really great YouTube video about this, I think called like the manga that will destroy you or something. So maybe I'll link that in the notes also. Like he needs my help getting viewers, but maybe you haven't checked out that video yet. It's very cool. New York, New York. This looks really beautiful, like slice of life. Like romantic, like queer romantic kind of a story, but some drama. Oh my gosh, set in New York in the 90s. English debut, so pretty cool. It's like older, but like I know this came out a while ago. I don't think we ever got copies of this. I think this has an anime. But yeah, I just totally just to be candid, I think I just dropped the ball on this. I didn't have anyone pre-order it. I didn't really talk to anyone about it. I think I tried to watch the anime and I couldn't get into it. Definitely had some customers tell me they liked it, like the anime, but nobody like was asking about the comic. So I think it's like a pretty violent like fight comic. It's just like, battle manga, but like the, Norse mythology characters. So yeah, it seems like the kind of thing. And I showed this in the superhero video, but also like maybe you're more of a manga person. You just clicked on this video. It's like Deadpool manga. Again, we got this a little late. This one was not my fault, arguably, that it came in late, but that's not why you tuned in. You tuned in to see Deadpool talking anime Captain America, anime Iron Man. All right, so that is all the manga and manhwa that we got for this week. Oh my gosh, I'm so sorry. That's so embarrassing. I did not realize you were done watching the video. Okay, cool. Yeah, I'm still learning how to make them, and geez. So no, thank you very much. Really appreciate it. Hope that was helpful in some way. Get in touch anytime. Really, truly grateful that we get to do this cool job and help, connect folks with comics every day. So thanks so much, y'all. Take care. Best wishes. Talk to you soon. Thank you.